Welcome back to Golf Without Tears, session number 4. I'm Joe Lane. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't gone through the first 3 sessions, you've got lots of questions and we're not going to answer them here. Plus, you need the skills from those sessions to make sense of what we're going to do this time. So please, go back, get them, and then come back and start over here. I want to point out that breaking 80 now and then is not really about having a tour-like swing or hitting your driver 270 yards or something. If we work out backwards, it's first about having the skills to master the greens. No 3-putts. Next step out, sticking the pin when you're within 15 feet or so of the edge of the green. Now you'll also need a couple of very specific distances you can nail consistently with a lob wedge and, say, a pitching wedge. Mine happen to be 50 yards and 90 yards. And of course, from tee to green, you got to keep your ball in the short grass. And look, doing all of this is dependent on you first mastering a limited number of very specific basic skills. And most of those you can master here, your home practice station this winter. So, hit subscribe. You'll get all of the sessions the minute we release them. Okay, let's get to it. First thing is hitting the ball dead center on your putter blade. Dave Pelz did a study on this in the 90s, I think. He kept records of where players of different skill levels struck the ball on their putter blade. And what you're looking at now is a representation of that study. The orange oval is the average handicap players. The blue one, the single-digit players. The green one, the scratch players. The red one, of course, the touring pros. Please believe this. I've confirmed it a zillion times with my students. Point is, even if you have a near-perfect stroke, can read a green like a Google map, if you do not hit the ball dead center, you're likely going to miss because the velocity of your ball will not be what you intended, and the ball will drift right or left depending on where you hit it on your putter blade. So, you master this with a putting ruler and a target board. Okay, so make sure your target board and your ruler are exactly parallel and the center line of your putter is right on the center line for your ruler. All right, and then this will get you in the habit, show you how hitting the ball dead center actually works. So just focus on hitting it dead center. Get rid of your target board. Okay, now it's a little bit more tricky, but you still do the same thing. Get that ball dead centered on your putting ruler. Get your putter center right there. Come back. Make your stroke. And you want to just do this and do this and do this until you see what that ball looks like when your putter hits it. Now we're going to do it without anything, just completely freehand. You're going to have to hit the ball right there. Okay, so we'll line up. We'll get that back, pick it up, take our swing. They're tongue depressor ends. I use double-faced carpet tape to hold them in place. When you can't bring a putting kit to your practice green, you can use these. Several of my students did, sometimes even when we were playing 9 at the end of a long session. I still use them a lot. I can tell you this, with these on, it absolutely focuses the mind on hitting that ball dead center. One other critical aspect of great putting is seeing the line you've picked correctly when you get to setup. Doing that means you have to have your eyes over the target line that you've picked when you set up to stroke your putt. Here's how to master this. So to make sure your eyes are over the ball, over the target line, you set up, make sure you're in your full setup, everything's correct, and then you get a ball and just hold it on the bridge of your nose, make sure you're in balance, of course, and let it drop. So my eyes, you can see the ball hit the ruler and took off that way. So my eyes were too far, I was too far this way off the line. So I need to reset myself, of course, get in balance again, and let it drop. So anytime you can do this, let it hit the ground. If it hits the ruler, your eyes are over the target line. If you're out playing golf, this is completely illegal. Set up, put your putter down, get set, put it up. So I was off. So I rebalance myself, get it up, hits the grip of my putter, my eyes are over the line. By the way, when you play, you can use your putter grip for a quick check if you want to. It's completely legal. There's a ton of info on the web about the physics and the geometry of this if you want the granular details. All right, last thing on putting until the weather breaks. How do you set up when you're playing to get an exact measure of the backswing once you've picked the one you want? All right, I want a 4-inch backswing. How do you get 4 inches? How can you measure it when you've got nothing but grass there? Because you can't take one of these rulers out on the course with you. Okay, you have to practice. What is your putting setup going to be? And for me, from the back of the ball to the inside of my left foot is exactly the putter width. But I practice that and I can look at that and see, okay, that's it. And if I have to, I'll put my putter down because that's completely illegal and then get in my stance. Now the next thing you have to know is the inside of your right foot, or depending on your stance, the kind of here on your toe. So for me, on my toe, right there, that's exactly 10 inches. And to the inside is exactly 9 inches. So now I can go here and say, all right, I've decided I want a 4-inch backswing. Well, I know that here, if I line it up with the inside of my foot, that's 9 inches. So now I can say, well, all right, so if that's 9 inches, 4 inches is a little less than half. So I can pick somewhere here where I think is half. You know, I look at it this way. Yeah, that's about half. And then subtract a ½ inch, because 4½ inches, 4½ inches is 9 inches. And that's literally how you do it. It takes practice. It's easy to do. It's easy to learn here. So now I'm set up. I want a 5-inch backswing. I'm set. Well, I'm going to bring it back here because I know that's 9 inches. The face of that club is 9 inches behind the back of the ball. So halfway, which will be about here, that's about halfway, and I'll add a ½ inch to it, and let's see if I'm right. There it is. That's exactly 5 inches. It's really simple, but you do have to practice it, and you just have to do it over and over again until you've got that set with your left foot, you've got your right foot set, you're in your golf stance, and now you can measure from either here or here. That's how you get the backswing you called for or decided on. That's the one you're going to get. Next session, we're going to get off the green and start mastering what I call the precision pitch shot. That's when you're within 10, 15 feet from the edge of the green, because you want to be able to do this. If you'd like to talk about your golf life, sign up to be a guest on our podcast while you're there. Also, if you have video of you at your home practice station, leave us a link. Maybe we can show it here. Okay, that's it for this session. See you next time.